In September 2024, an 18-year-old boy named Arjun found himself in the clutches of an elaborate scam. His dreams were as large as his ambition, and like many young Indians, he yearned to wear the prestigious IPS, Indian Police Service, uniform. Growing up in a small town in Uttar Pradesh, he had always admired the officers who commanded respect and inspired discipline. His humble background meant that cracking the UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, exam was his only shot at becoming an officer. Little did he know, his desperation to achieve this dream would lead him straight into the hands of a notorious conman, Manoj Singh. Arjun had recently finished his schooling and was working hard to prepare for the UPSC exams. Every evening, he would spend hours studying, browsing through the profiles of successful candidates, and joining online forums to seek guidance. It was on one such platform that he encountered a man named Manoj Singh. Singh appeared as a well-connected, influential individual who claimed to help aspirants achieve their dreams of joining the civil services. His social media profiles were filled with pictures of him standing beside prominent bureaucrats, and he boasted a long list of students who had supposedly cleared the exams under his guidance. At first, Arjun was skeptical. It was hard to believe that someone could bypass the country's rigorous selection process, but Singh's demeanor was convincing. His smooth words and reassuring tone created the illusion of authenticity. The promise was simple: pay a fee, and he would ensure Arjun got a direct entry into the IPS, no need for the exams. Singh claimed he had inside connections within the police department and could guarantee Arjun's appointment. Months of relentless pressure to succeed had worn Arjun down. His parents, too, were counting on him to improve the family's situation. They had always struggled financially, and this opportunity seemed like the shortcut to success. Arjun had heard stories about how hard the exams were, and Singh's offer felt like a lifeline. He couldn't resist the temptation and began corresponding with Singh. Singh's requests for money began subtly at first. He mentioned needing funds to file certain paperwork and to grease the wheels at various departments. Arjun, who had no experience in dealing with bureaucratic processes, felt this was normal. After all, in India, the belief that things moved faster with money was deeply ingrained. Without thinking much of it, he borrowed 2 rupees lakh from his parents, promising them that it would be an investment in his future. His parents, although concerned about the high sum, trusted their son's judgment and handed over the money. The deal was sealed. Arjun transferred the money to Singh's account, and soon after, Singh handed him a neatly pressed IPS uniform. The uniform was everything Arjun had dreamed of, complete with stars on the shoulders and crisp white gloves. Singh instructed him to report to the local police station the following morning for his official joining. He reassured Arjun that once he stepped into the police station wearing the uniform, no one would question his authority. Arjun's heart raced with excitement as he donned the uniform. He looked at himself in the mirror, the reflection of a proud officer staring back at him. It was a surreal moment. With his chest puffed up and confidence at an all-time high, he left for Secunderabad police station. As Arjun approached the station, heads turned. He strutted through the front gates like he owned the place, unaware that he was about to step into a trap. The station's officers were quick to notice the young IPS officer walking through the door. One of the senior officers, Sub-Inspector Raghav, exchanged amused glances with his colleagues. "Come, sir, IPS. Come to Secunderabad police station," he said jokingly. Arjun, oblivious to their mockery, smiled and greeted them with the air of someone who had just been handed power. He was directed to a room where the officers would process his arrival. Inside, a few officers sat down with him for what they called an introductory chat. They asked him questions about his training, his batch, and where he had completed his probation. At first, Arjun responded confidently, echoing what Singh had told him. But as the questions became more specific, Arjun's answers started to falter. He had no idea how the police hierarchy worked, nor could he recall details about the training academies. The officers exchanged knowing looks. They had seen scams like this before, but never one that had brought a boy straight into their station dressed as an IPS officer. "What batch are you from, sir?" asked Raghav with a smirk. "Batch of 2024, Arjun responded, his voice cracking slightly. "And where did you train?" another officer probed. "The academy, the one in Delhi," Arjun stammered, clearly unsure of what he was saying. It didn't take long for the officers to realize Arjun had no idea what he was talking about. Instead of exposing him immediately, they played along for a while longer, humorously engaging him with more questions about his supposed authority and experience. After about an hour, the officers could no longer keep up the charade. Raghav leaned in and said softly, "Son, do you realize what's going on here?" Arjun froze, his face turning pale. Confused and embarrassed, he stammered, "I don't understand." With a sigh, Raghav explained to Arjun that he had been conned. They had already heard of Manoj Singh's scams, but hadn't expected him to go this far. The officers sympathized with Arjun, realizing he was merely a victim of his own aspirations and the cunning tactics of a conman. They told him the truth: there was no backdoor to becoming an IPS officer. The only way was through hard work, dedication, and cracking the UPSC exam. Reality crashed down on Arjun. He felt his legs give way, and he slumped into the chair, stunned by the revelation. The uniform he had worn with such pride now felt like a cruel joke. He realized, in that moment, that he had not only been duped but had also dragged his family into a financial crisis. The officers kindly offered him some water and asked him to recount how he had met Manoj Singh. As Arjun narrated his story, the officers took down notes, preparing to take action against the conman. They assured Arjun that they would do everything they could to recover his money, but the journey ahead was going to be long and difficult. Scammers like Singh operated in the shadows, often disappearing without a trace. Word about the incident spread quickly, and soon the local media picked up on the story. Arjun's name was kept out of the headlines, but the tale of the fake IPS officer became a talking point in the town. Singh, who had a reputation for manipulating young aspirants, had struck again, but this time, his boldness had exposed him. The police launched an investigation, tracking Singh's phone records and banking transactions. It took weeks, but eventually, they were able to locate him in a neighboring city. Singh, of course, denied everything, claiming that Arjun had misunderstood their arrangement. But the evidence was clear. The police arrested Singh and charged him with fraud, ensuring he would face justice for his crimes. As for Arjun, the experience was a harsh lesson in the dangers of shortcuts. The IPS uniform had once represented his hopes and dreams, but now it was a symbol of deceit. He returned home, ashamed and broken, but determined to make amends. He vowed to work hard and earn his place in the IPS the right way, through grit and perseverance. His parents, though disappointed, stood by his side. They reminded him that true success couldn't be bought, and that the respect he had always admired in officers came from their dedication and service to the nation. Arjun knew he had a long way to go, but this time, he was ready to walk the path with honesty and integrity. The story of Arjun's scam spread beyond his town, serving as a cautionary tale to thousands of aspirants across the country. It reminded everyone that while dreams are important, they must be pursued with sincerity, not shortcuts.